Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Friday, June 12th, 2026. I'm Rihanna Nakram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Vice President Barjagdio says all 530 pre-qualified contractors in Region 5 will receive at least one government contract before the end of 2026. Works on the Carifesta Avenue expansion are now more than three-quarters complete. Officials say the Ghana Mount Sinai partnership is producing measurable improvements in healthcare delivery nationwide. And Bethany Village has completed its first successful harvest on their community aquaculture program. Some 530 small contractors in Region 5 who are on the government's pre-qualified list were assured today that each of them will be allocated at least one contract before the end of the year. The commitment was made by Vice President Barjagdio during a public outreach at the Regional Democratic Council compound in Fort Wellington. The guarantee applies to contracts valued below $15 million, which are awarded directly by the government, rather than through the public tender process. According to Jagdio, the government's contractor pre-qualification program was expanded after concerns were raised that opportunities were being limited to a small group of contractors. The registration process was open to the public and extended from 1 month to 3 months to allow more people to participate. The outreach also provided residents with an opportunity to meet directly with the Vice President and senior government officials to address concerns ranging from land and housing matters to national insurance scheme issues. Resident Mohammed Yaqub said he was pleased that a long-standing land matter was resolved during the exercise.
Concerning land, we reached the agriculture minister and he gave me land, 25 acres of land, and God must bless him. I'm a poor man, right? So I wait to just collect my land. And we reached the vice president and he solved my problem. So we want to thank the government of Guyana. Pick it up.
Bridget Smith of Myconi told Ignite News that she attended after learning that the vice president would be available to assist residents with matters relating to housing, NIS, and other concerns.
Everyone came out, and it's very nice because you can't be sitting in the office alone and don't want to reach to the people. The people like to see you, we love him, so he could come out and talk to us at every time, and it's a good thing.
Being here meeting with the vice president is a great opportunity because you're here, being here with him, we can state all our issues. And I know by the time he leaves here, our issues and complaints will be dealt with. It's a great opportunity for Region 5 because a lot of people and a lot of residents in Region 5 may have a lot of issues and complaints. And I know for sure at the end of today, their issues and complaints will be over.
The outreach forms part of the government's ongoing efforts to engage communities across the country, bringing services closer to citizens and ensuring that concerns are heard and addressed by senior officials. ExxonMobil Ghana has outlined key details of its proposed Haimara offshore development as the project advances through the environmental impact assessment process. The company on Thursday hosted a public scoping meeting at Haimara as part of the Environmental Protection Agency's review of the project. The consultation allows stakeholders to raise concerns and submit recommendations that will help shape the terms of reference for the environmental study. Project management engineer Weir Katorn explained that Haimara is one of 2 developments currently under environmental review and will be assessed alongside existing and planned projects in the Stabroek block to determine any cumulative environmental impacts.
The map here on the right is showing how far Haimara is from our other developments. And really the importance of this is that as part of the EIA, we're going to be looking at what are the cumulative effects of having multiple FPSOs in proximity to each other. And so here we've got those different distances delineated. I'll just really highlight from Hammerhead and Payara, which are the farthest away. That's about 90 kilometers away from where the proposed Haimara location.
The company's environmental and regulatory advisor, Nina Canal, said ExxonMobil is prepared and ready to respond to any unplanned events through scalable responses.
We understand that there is risk associated with unplanned events, and because of this, we incorporate mitigative measures, preventative measures, as well as ensuring that all of our workforce is adequately trained to respond to an incident should one occur. We conduct on-water deployment of all of our equipment. and exercises prior to the arrival of every FPSO in country, and then subsequently every 3 years after that.
Issues expected to be examined during the assessment include marine ecosystems, water and air quality, coastal habitats, waste management, employment opportunities, social infrastructure, and emergency response preparedness. The EPA says feedback received during the consultation period will help determine the final scope of the environmental impact assessment. Thousands of motorists who use Carifesta Avenue each day are expected to benefit from improved traffic flow and expanded road capacity as major upgrade works move closer to completion. Ignite News' Kelly Carter tells us more.
Thank you, Rihanna. Work is continuing on the expansion of Carifesta Avenue, a project with a combined investment of more than 2.2 billion Ghana dollars. The road upgrade, which began in phases throughout 2024, is aimed at easing traffic congestion and improving drainage along one of Georgetown's busiest corridors. According to the Ministry of Public Works, works are being carried out by Colin Talbot Contracting Services and are about 75% complete, while the second phase, being executed by Quality Deliverer, is approximately 85% complete. The project includes road widening, new drainage systems, retaining walls, and pedestrian walkways. Once completed, the upgraded Carifesta Avenue is expected to improve traffic flow, increase parking capacity, and provide better drainage for thousands of commuters who use the corridor daily. Reporting from Carifesta Avenue, I'm Kaylee Carter for Ignite News. Back to you, Rihanna.
Thanks, Kaylee. As work advances toward completion, officials say the project is expected to deliver fast travel times, safer road conditions, and improved drainage for the thousands of motorists who rely on Carifesta Avenue every day. Former Finance Minister Winston Jordan says stronger action is needed to tackle crime if Ghana is serious about attracting and retaining major international investment. Speaking on CAMS TV on Thursday, Jordan pointed to the United States Level 3 travel advisory as evidence that key public safety concerns remain unresolved despite Ghana's rapid economic growth.
We're running away with these fancy statistics influenced by oil production, but and therefore not seeing the underlying problem that is emerging. The high crime rate in Guyana will be a deterrence to investment and travel. Because once the Americans put out a travel advisory, the British will be looking, the Canadians will be looking, the Europeans will be looking, and so on. So it will have a knock-on effect.
Jordan argued that crime and economic development are closely linked, warning that negative perceptions about safety can discourage investment and affect citizens' quality of life.
The Americans are paying attention to the rising crime and advising their citizens about traveling to Guyana, that they must only make absolutely necessary travel. And when they do so, there's a long list of things the Americans are advising their citizens to do once they're in the country. The paradox of the fastest growing country.
The United States currently advises travelers to reconsider travel to Guyana, citing concerns including crime. Jordan said such advisories continue to affect the country's image internationally, despite its status as one of the world's fastest growing economies. One returned major improvements in healthcare under the Ghana-Mount Sinai partnership, a prison sentence handed down in the Joseph Jagdio murder case, and a Latin resident convicted for trespassing on an aerodrome. Stay with us.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Welcome back. The Ghana-Mount Sinai Healthcare Partnership is reporting significant gains in patient care. The Ghana-Mount Sinai National Healthcare Initiative is delivering measurable improvements across the country's healthcare system, with officials reporting shorter hospital wait times, expanded child health screenings, and better patient safety outcomes. The progress was highlighted during a meeting with President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, where representatives from Mount Sinai and the Ministry of Health outlined achievements under the partnership.
To date, over 86,000 children and adolescents in Guyana have received health screenings that are evaluating their dental care, their vision, their hearing, their development, a full physical exam.
Officials say the screening program is helping to identify health concerns early and connect children with treatment and specialized services when needed. Mount Sinai representatives also praised Ghana's rapid rollout of the nationwide program, describing it as one of the most comprehensive efforts they have seen internationally. Meanwhile, reforms at the Georgetown Public Hospital are improving patient care and hospital operations, including significant reductions in waiting times.
If you go into Georgetown Public Hospital now, you will see that in ambulatory care setting, in many of the clinics, your wait times are now no longer going to be about 4 to 5 hours. It's reduced to about an hour, which is significant improvement in the experience of patients.
Hospital officials also reported major reductions in healthcare-associated infections through enhanced staff training and quality control measures, along with the introduction of specialized medication mixing systems. The Ministry of Health says the partnership is now expanding into additional areas of care as efforts continue to strengthen healthcare delivery across the country.
We've also been working in primary health care, and we have developed new guidelines for diabetes management, and we've been training physicians so that we can provide better primary health care for our population.
Health authorities say the next phase of the initiative will focus on adolescent health, mental health services, respiratory and critical care, and building greater capacity throughout the national healthcare system. Convicted killer Brian Leach has been sentenced to 25 years in prison for the 2013 murder of hotel owner Joseph Jagdeo. The sentence was handed down on Thursday by Justice Gina Prasad after Leach was found guilty of murder following a retrial. Leach was initially convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 33 years imprisonment, but that conviction was overturned by the Court of Appeal, which ordered a retrial after finding that the original trial judge had misdirected the jury. During the retrial, prosecutors Delon Fraser, Mitomika Lumumba, and Padma Debraj successfully secured a murder conviction. Jagdeo's bound and gagged body was discovered beneath a bed in a room at the South Central Hotel on South Road, Georgetown, in November 2013. Leach, who was 19 years old when he was first charged, has already spent nearly 13 years behind bars. A 43-year-old electrician has been ordered to pay a $300,000 fine or spend 3 months in prison for illegally accessing the Letem Aerodrome. Leonard Pompey of Culver City appeared before Magistrate Omadat Chandan at the Letem Magistrates Court, where he admitted to defense under Section 83(1) of the Civil Aviation Act. The conviction comes days after the Aviation Operators Associations of Guyana renewed calls for stricter enforcement of aviation safety regulations at hinterland airstrips. The association has warned that motorists and pedestrians frequently cross active runways, while others use airstrips for recreation activities or leave debris in operational areas. Last week, aviation stakeholders condemned an incident in which rocks were deliberately placed along the Letem Aerodrome runway, creating a potential hazard for aircraft. The association says aviation offenses can attract substantial fines and lengthy prison sentences, depending on the severity of the violation. The picturesque riverine village of Bethany in Region 2 is celebrating a fresh harvest of tambaki. The harvest marks a milestone in the community's aquaculture program, which has been developed to boost food security and generate income for residents. According to Tushao and Director General of the Ministry of Armenian Affairs, Sonia Lachman, the community's first harvest yielded 18 fish, weighing a combined 134.5 pounds, with individual fish ranging between 5.5 and 10 pounds.
I'm here with my residents and persons from the fisheries department, Mr. Kelawan and Miss Raghunandan. My residents are very cooperative. They are here helping to harvest the fish. Of course, it was too deep, so we had to pull up the net a bit. So again, I must let you know that this project is very successful so far.
The fish were sold within the village for $500 per pound to ensure affordable access for residents, while sales outside the community generated additional income at $700 per pound. Lachman said the harvest demonstrates the success of the village's fish rearing initiative and highlights the potential of sustainable aquaculture to strengthen food security and create economic opportunities. Community-based aquaculture programs continue to be promoted in hinterland communities as part of broader efforts to expand local food production and improve livelihoods. When we come back, the Athletics Association prepares for its national championships. President's College captures regional basketball glory. And New Zealand cricket legend Kane Williamson calls time on his international career.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
You're watching Night News on 6 at 6. Thanks for staying with us. Ghana's top track and field athletes are preparing for one of the biggest events on the local athletics calendar. Ghana's top track and field athletes are preparing for one of the biggest events on the local athletics calendar as the Athletics Association of Guyana gets ready to host its national junior and senior championships later this month. Assistant Treasurer Niall Stanton says excitement is building ahead of the 3-day meet.
The association is eager to pull this event off. It's been planning for a number of months now. The LOC, which is being headed by Major Smith, has been putting in the work. I can guarantee everyone that all logistics has been in place for this championship. It's going to be a really good championship, one of the best championships for the year in Guyana.
The championships will also serve as an opportunity for athletes to showcase their talent and compete for national honors. Stanton says fans can expect strong competition across a number of events as athletes continue their preparations for regional and international competition.
More so is that the fact that most of our overseas athletes will be in Guyana from next week. We also have some teams from around the Caribbean that will be coming to Guyana also to compete. In terms of all logistics, as I mentioned before, has been worked out. I encourage the public, to come out, spend some time, see, our young men and women compete to be crowned who are the best junior athlete, who is the best senior athlete.
The National Junior and Senior Championships will be held from June 26 to 28 at the Lenore Synthetic Track and Field Facility. President's College produced a dominant display to claim the Youth Basketball Guyana East Coast Country Regional Championship, defeating Plaisance Secondary 54-12 in the final. The champions controlled the contest from start to finish, led by most valuable player and player of the game, Romarian Wolf, who scored 16 points and grabbed 3 rebounds. Teran Mabir also played a key role in the victory with 17 points, while Dontrell Ross contributed 6 points and 7 rebounds. Plaisance Secondary was led by Christopher Ram with 7 points, while Trevor James added 5 points in the runner-up effort. In the third-place playoff, Golden Grove Secondary defeated Hope Secondary 27-2 to secure a podium finish. Kellan Burke starred for Golden Grove with 17 points and 11 rebounds to earn Player of the Game honors, while Sean Archer supported with 6 points. The East Coast Country Regional forms part of Youth Basketball Guyana's ongoing effort to develop the sports at a secondary level while providing young athletes with competitive opportunities and pathways for growth. The regional tournament was sponsored by Edward B. Bihari Limited, G Boats Incorporated, the National Sports Commission, the Ministry of Education, and Banks DIH Limited. New Zealand cricket legend Kane Williamson has announced his immediate retirement from international cricket, bringing an end to one of the most successful careers in the country's history. The 35-year-old played his final international match in the opening test against England at Lord's, closing the curtain on a 16-year career at the highest level. Williamson retires as New Zealand's leading all-format run scorer, amassing 19,346 runs, including 48 centuries and 6 double centuries, in 378 international appearances between 2010 and 2026. In Test cricket, he scored 9,515 runs at an average of 54.06, with 33 centuries in 110 matches. According to ESPN Cricinfo, Williamson captained New Zealand in 206 matches between 2012 and 2024, leading the Black Caps to some of their greatest achievements, including victory in the inaugural World Test Championship in 2021. He also guided New Zealand to the finals of the 2019 Cricket World Cup and the 2021 T20 World Cup. Announcing his retirement, Williamson said the time felt right to step away from international cricket and express confidence in the future of the New Zealand team. Still ahead, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister warns that no one is above the law. UN agencies raise concerns as Ebola spreads in Congo. And gig workers around the world move closer to gaining new labor protections. Stay with us.
Prem's Electrical help you turn that dream home or project into a reality. We have the ability to be the one supplier for all your residential and commercial electrical requirements. Our great prices ensures ongoing customer satisfaction, from brightening up your space to setting the mood. You're sure to find what you need in our amazing lighting range. Prem's Electrical, Guyana's electrical giants. 177 Alexander Street, Laceytown. Telephone 227-7765.
Welcome back. Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar is warning that wealth and influence will not place anyone beyond the reach of the law. The statement comes as authorities investigate allegations that banking officials helped facilitate foreign currency transactions linked to international drug cartels. The Prime Minister backed recent comments by Attorney General John Jeremy, who warned that even the country's wealthy and influential 1% could face scrutiny if evidence warrants it. Prasad Bisesar said the government is receiving international assistance to trace billions of US dollars allegedly moved out of Trinidad and Tobago over the past 2 decades through local businesses and transferred to overseas accounts linked to organized crime. According to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, the Prime Minister stressed that all citizens, regardless of wealth or status, must be treated equally under the law. She said the administration supports efforts to target both street-level criminal networks and white-collar actors involved in drug trafficking and money laundering. The Prime Minister added that investigations are ongoing with international partners and involve large-scale illicit drug profits allegedly moving through the country's financial system. In international news, a deadly Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo is continuing to spread, with health officials warning that more children could soon become infected. At a press conference today, the World Health Organization said 676 Ebola cases and 136 deaths have been confirmed since the outbreak was identified, with infections now reported across 34 health zones in eastern Congo and in neighboring Uganda. Officials warn the true scale of the outbreak may be far larger than reported because surveillance gaps and blind spots remain in several high-risk areas. Most cases have so far involved adults, but 8 agencies say that could soon change.
But as the outbreak evolves, we must be prepared for increasing household transmission, which means we may see more children affected in the days ahead.
UNICEF says children are particularly vulnerable because many already face chronic malnutrition and low vaccination rates. The agency also warns that Ebola symptoms in children, including fever, vomiting, and diarrhea, can easily be mistaken for malaria, potentially delaying life-saving treatment. Officials are also concerned that misinformation is undermining the response among young people.
A recent UNICEF U-Report survey of 50,000 young people in the DRC found that 2/3 were not aware how Ebola spreads or how to protect themselves. About 1 in 5 didn't believe the disease is real, and nearly 1/3 would not welcome a survivor back into their community.
The outbreak involves the Bundibugyo strain of Ebola, for which there is currently no approved vaccine or specific treatment beyond supportive care. The WHO and UNICEF are expanding testing, contact tracing, and community outreach efforts, while appealing for additional international support to prevent the disease from spreading further. Finally, this evening, millions of rideshare drivers, food delivery workers, and online freelancers could soon gain stronger workplace protections under a landmark agreement adopted by the International Labour Organization. The new convention establishes the first legally binding international labor standard designed specifically for people who earn income through digital platforms. The agreement seeks to extend protections such as fair pay, social security benefits, and safer working conditions to platform workers, many of whom have traditionally been classified as independent contractors and excluded from labor safeguards. It also requires greater transparency from digital platforms, including disclosures of how algorithms influence work assignments, pay rates, and performance evaluations. The convention was approved by an overwhelming majority at the ILO's annual conference in Geneva, favoring 406 votes in favor. Supporters said the agreement marks a major step toward protecting hundreds of millions of workers worldwide, while some countries have called for flexibility in how the new standards are implemented under national laws. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you next time for more Ignite News.